A dreary day here in Brooklyn, New York, and Brooklyn FC hopes that the season continues to be a rainy, dreary one for Loudoun, as Loudoun comes in with no wins on the campaign, and Brooklyn is a team that has the opportunity to move up in the USL standings coming into today. Hello, family. I'm James Hadnot. With me is Ryan Davies, and we take a look at the Eastern Conference standings right now. Brooklyn at 11th, Loudoun in 12th.
People don't realize how important this match is. Rhode Island FC is playing Tampa Bay Rowdies, who's undefeated, the only undefeated team so far in USL. A chance for Brooklyn FC and Loudoun United to take big steps into the top 10 tonight.
And Brooklyn is a team that, after starting in a strugglesome way, has picked up some points lately. But one thing that Coach Marlon LeBlanc has talked about is his team's defending. They've only given up one goal in the run of play over their last couple of matches, but they haven't been able to get the results that they want.
And they're creating chances as well. They have well over enough chances per game, more than any other team. Not any other team, but any top echelon of the teams in USL Championship. But the conversion rate is so low that they can't convert those chances to points, and that's why they're hanging out at the bottom of USL.
And Marcus Anderson, he's been hanging out at the corner flag after scoring goals. He leads the team with 4 on the campaign.
He's so efficient with his movements, opens up his hips, and look at the technique here. He's going to snap this one back. 2 defenders are going to go flying. Corner pocket. I tell you what, technique allows him to take fewer touches and have just as much damage as anyone else.
Anderson is one of the better players on this side. He's a young player, but Coach LeBlanc has talked very highly about him and has a connection going back to their time at Philadelphia. Now we turn the page to Loudoun United, still looking for their first win of the season.
Gritty as can be, and I tell you what, just like Brooklyn, they're doing everything right defensively, everything all right with their heart and energy, but converting chances is still the hardest thing to do in this sport. Tonight may be the night, on a rainy night in Brooklyn, that Loudoun gets the goals they're looking for.
Yeah, 4 straight matches in which they have drawn with their opponents, and tonight they have this in regards to the injury report. No Erlinson, no O'Connor or Armstrong, but one player that they are getting back, and somebody that Coach Limbrick talked about, is Thor Olferson.
He's the team leader along with Murphy, and he's also the target guy. They can go directly to him and start up their possession there. If they go out wide, they have a huge target to aim for to try and get some goals.
The first-year franchise, Brooklyn FC, taking on Loudoun, who had their best season in franchise history last year, 12 total wins. They're still looking for their first win of 2026. The matchup between Loudoun and Brooklyn is next.
Hearts. No two beat the same. So we built a team of the best heart surgeons, pioneers of the most modern techniques, who always find the one approach that's best for you. But while each surgery is unique, the outcome is the same: the highest success rates. NYU Langone Health.
Moments away from kickoff between Brooklyn FC and Loudoun United FC in Brooklyn, New York. The rain has gone away, and we are almost ready for this match. Also, the pitch is going to be a little bit slicker now, and that's something that Coach Limbrick talked about. But we'll start with the 11 for Brooklyn FC.
Alves, the Brazilian, number 3, he loves to overlap. He's going to provide some extra players on that left-hand side to link up with Anderson, number 35 up top. Obregon in the middle of the park could find some space if the ball goes out wide with those two very influential players and then comes back in. Obregon is going to find some space to cause some hurt tonight.
Yeah, Malik Pinto, the former FC Cincinnati man, also in the starting 11 today. As we now take a look at the lineup for Loudoun United.
Well, like we mentioned up top, Ulfason is going to be the target man. The 37-year-old Santos is going to partner him. But it all starts with Murphy. He's the orchestrator for this team. Akinyori is going to come around him, so too Esenge. But Nyongaberi, that heart, that drive can get down that right-hand side and get the ball to Ulfason on the crosses. That can make the difference.
And Marlon LeBlanc, the head coach for Brooklyn, talked about Santos and his quality, a former MLS champion with Columbus. And as you said, in his late 30s, but he's still playing at a young and spry level. And for Brooklyn, they're here at home. Both coaches talked about the pitch and how things could be impacted with the rain and how it could be a little more slick. The ball could move a little quicker, and that could add to the tempo of this match. There's the whistle. We begin. Brooklyn in the black, Loudoun in the white, and the matchup here in the Eastern Conference in USL Championship. Immediately, Brooklyn digs it out. This is Alves. He's back after serving his red card suspension, picked up a second yellow versus Sacramento, and Coach LeBlanc was happy to get him back. Now there can be some camaraderie in the back line. Tinovich goes back to Lucas Burns, a part of multiple players that have some Philadelphia Union ties, just as their head coach does.
I tell you what, the dimensions of this field is a lot smaller than just about any field you'll find in the USL Championship. And yes, that includes you, Pittsburgh Riverhounds. I tell you what, it's going to be hard for these players to settle in. There's not much width to play with.
Immediately a throw in for Loudoun, and that was something that Coach Limbrick talked about for Loudoun, just about the pitch surface as well as the pitch dimensions and how Segra Field for Loudoun, how it plays much wider and how that really kind of helps this team when things are slick and the ball could come at a nice tempo. But now Brooklyn is in possession. Ball lost back to Loudoun United, and so how can they take advantage of the quality that they have on the pitch? Santos loses possession rather quickly. Alves is there to defend. Big ball over the top, looking for Obregon. It will roll to Adam Beaudry.
First look at that skiddy surface. Excellent read coming in from the number 5, Mazzafaro, who just came back from injury. I'm sure Loudoun will be very happy to have him back there, but you saw the ball skid off the surface. Anytime that ball bounces behind the centre-backs, that could be problems, and allows the striker to run onto it and outpace the defender.
Coach LeBlanc telling us that teams like to play in this fashion, direct when they come to this pitch. They tend to change the way that they play, maybe when they're at home or when they're in other places, simply because of just knowing how things might go here. And so it's something that Brooklyn wants to play into and make sure that they're winning the second balls, make sure they're winning the aerial duels and doing the dirty work in this match. We'll see if this is going out for a throw or if that's going to be a free kick. Obregon was there in the thick of things, and it does look like it's going to be a free kick for Loudoun on the edge of the touchline.
I tell you what, the last thing you want to do is give away free kicks with a man like Santos behind the ball and a big man by the name of Ulfason inside the 18-yard box. Let's see if Loudoun could get the monkey off their back and get an early goal.
Santos lofts this ball into the area. A second header. And now a clearance from Brooklyn. Coach LeBlanc saying that our team is not the biggest team, so we don't want to give up a lot of free kicks, a lot of set pieces, because that's where we can be susceptible. Santos was offside.
And this could be a little bit frustrating for Loudoun. You talked about the dimensions on their field. Their formation being a 3-5-2. They have Amon and Nyanga, who love to hug the sidelines and leave room for Akinyori, Asengas, and Murphy to come through the middle. Here, everybody's playing as a family in the middle of the park. There's nowhere to hide.
There is Anthony Lembrick. He has won at many different levels, the Welsh Cup, the Welsh Super Cup, and he said that consistency is what made those teams great. And when you are consistently playing at a high level, he knows that there's quality throughout this lineup, but if that quality doesn't showcase itself every single time they steps on the pitch, then that's how you can find yourself with 4 straight draws and not finding the wins that you think that the team should have.
And he's also consistent with his temperament. I asked him, what is it like on a Monday morning when things aren't going your way? He said, you don't get too high with the wins and you don't get too low with the losses. You have to keep an even temperament.
Draws in their last 4, as mentioned. 2-2 versus Oakland last time out. Also draws versus Hartford, Birmingham, and Louisville. That Louisville match was a really fun one. Now Brooklyn on the prowl. And that shot is wide of the mark. Adam Beaudry gave a dive, but it does spray wide.
Well, good build up through the middle. Obviously, Brooklyn is very adept at playing at this ground. They want to keep the ball in very small spaces with Akiyoshi, Obregon, and Kante. Those 3 linking up and almost bending it one pass. Boundary.
So Alves right into Nyongabide. And there was a collision there. And so the training staff being called onto the field by J.C. Griggs, our referee today. And Nyongabide is back up.
The man from Burundi, he's tough as can be. Goes right down and bounces right back up. I tell you what, to have Nyongabide on your team, you can depend on this number 7 week in and week out. He's as tough as they get. And when he plays for his country, he produces there as well.
Yeah, the Indian national, first year with Loudoun, played in the Australia A-League and the Canadian Premier League prior.
Had a really good stint with the Tampa Bay Rowdies for about 2 or 3 seasons. He's actually a number 10 that is usually plays higher up the pitch, but he found a home in a 3-5-2 in the Rowdies on that right-hand side, and the rest of the league fell in love with it. So this Loudoun United team picked him right up to play in that position.
Only gets a piece of this. Obregon, a touch out wide. Contact from behind. Molu Akinyode saying, get up, Obregon. And J.C. Griggs, our referee, feeling that was the case. Now, a discrepancy.
I think it's a retaliation after Obregon went down. It looks like only Junior. So Obregon goes down there. And I thought that was a foul, but look at Olney Jr. Look at his retaliation here. This is going to take it out on the defender on a very, very late challenge. Bang.
It's something to watch as the tension starts to rise early in this match between Brooklyn in their first year as a franchise and Loudoun coming off their first playoff appearance as a franchise. Long ball, Olney hits it first time. It was cut out by Asel Essengay. Those two used to battle when Olney was with Philadelphia Union and Essengay was with Ventura County and MLS Next Pro.
Oh, beautiful header. Want to see how Loudoun does right now in this sequence, if they settle down or they try to go direct. That answers my question.
Right there, the ball given back up. Brooklyn wants to be a team that has a low PPDA. They want to make sure teams are turning the ball over quickly, but Coach LeBlanc talking about his ability and his team's ability, rather, to play with the ball. Obviously, coming out of a Philadelphia Union system where it was all about winning the ball quickly, going forward quickly. This team, playing in the formation that they do, they can enjoy the ball a little bit, instituting wingers, and when they can have the ball and enjoy it a bit, that's when they can find Marcus Anderson in the attack.
Well, let's see how good they are in the recoveries. It's going to be hard to dispossess Loudoun here.
Beaudry booms one forward.
Not sure why Ulfason is not getting more involved. He just came back from injury, understanding he may be a little bit have a slower step than the rest of everyone else. But so much is going to be dependent on him to get on the ball early for Loudoun.
10th minute of action. Still no score between Brooklyn and Loudoun. Brooklyn falling in their last match 3-2 to Miami FC. And it was 2 set-piece goals for Miami that were huge, and then a quick transition for Miami that helped them win that match. Prior to that, for Brooklyn, they had a win in USL Cup play versus the New York Cosmos. And also a 3-0 win versus Charleston Battery. So Coach LeBlanc believing this squad is starting to turn the corner despite the last result versus Miami. And this is an opportunity against a team that doesn't have a win to get all 3 points at home.
Yeah, they show they have their moments when they can get goals in a hurry. But a barometer of a team is how long you can play at that level. Not just at 90 minutes, then drop off again, 90 minutes drop off. How long can you maintain that high level of football? That's where you get graded. And that's where the coaches want to get their teams, where it's a consistent performance every Saturday, not an up and down performance.
For Coach LeBlanc knows this is going to be a work in progress with the amount of time they were given to put the roster together, with some of the things that are impacting this team in regards to locker rooms and practice fields, but wants the team to come together based on all those things. The adage of why not us? Alves off of Nyangabire.
Well, defensively, Loudoun has done so much better in the last few weeks. You can see how compact they are right now.
Alves taking it more central. Nobody there to pick up the ball. And now Olferson. He saw Burns off his line, but couldn't put it on frame. Not a bad idea, however.
Well, this is what he brings to the table. Anytime you blink at the back, Olferson gets on it, and he has the adventure in him to try shots like that from way out.
Long ball again will find Lucas Burns. Burns, the former member of Philadelphia Union Academy. He played last year with Portland Timbers 2, made 23 appearances. Now Anderson is the intended target, but he will tap this out as it went out of play.
I mean, what an opportunity for Burns, though, coming in from loan from Philadelphia Union. Jackson Lee not in the lineup. You get a chance to play this Saturday. You do well, you play next Saturday. That's what these loanee players, that's what they want. Get one chance, get stuck in, and then put on a good performance to get picked the next week.
Nyangabire picks it up. Olferson can't get to it. Spoke too soon as Amon trying to turn. He can't slither through, and Burns goes to ground to pick it up. So not as tidy, but the job got done. Brooklyn trying to come the other way.
I thought Nyangabire had a perfect opportunity to pick out Olferson with that cross. He overhit it and allowed Brooklyn to get back into it.
Alves waits for the contact and then goes down. Turn to the CBS Sports Network May 16 for a round 2 Prinks Tires USL Group 6 matchup. Richmond Kickers host Charleston Battery at 6 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, May 16th. Catch all the action on the CBS Sports Network.
I'll tell you what, I love the Prinks Cup. It is ready, steady, go. 4 games, top team gets out, and we move on to the second round. Game draws, penalties, let's move on. I love it, and I think it's such a great idea by the league to incorporate it.
As mentioned, Brooklyn won their match versus the New York Cosmos 3-0. One of 2 wins on the year for Brooklyn. Coach LeBlanc feels the team could have had more. Think back to that match versus Sacramento here at home. Cross comes in. It is handled. But that match at home, a late penalty given up by Brooklyn. And there is a foul.
Well, you can see the body language for each of these teams, what it means tonight to try and get a win. Anything that's loose, any defender that's taken a long touch, the ankles are being bitten. It's going to be a lot of cleats passing by ankles tonight, and that just gives you an idea of what this team, or both teams, want out of this match tonight.
Both teams really fiending for a win, and Loudoun specifically, they had 11 wins 2 years ago, missed out on the playoffs, 12 wins last year, made the playoffs under Coach Martin. He has gone on to Oakland, and in stepped Anthony Limbrick with all of his accolades that he has over the course of his coaching career. He's really enjoyed stepping into this squad. He really wants them to be better in regards to their one-touch passing and their combining play because of all the quality that they have in the lineup. If they can connect quickly with tempo, feels they can break anybody down.
And he's loving life in the US. He's talked so highly about this league, how things are run on the field, how things are run off the field. For someone who's did so well in the Welsh League, that is a huge compliment to the US.
CJ Olney looking to send the ball towards Obregon, could not connect. And now Akinyode, there's a shove from behind by Frogson. And a foul, free kick coming for Loudoun.
Well, that's the aggression we just spoke about. Anything that's loose, bodies are going to go flying, people are going to put their foot in, and we're going to see that all night. The question is, how far does the referee allow it to go?
He's not going to allow this free kick to go very far. Has to be taken from a little bit farther back. J.C. Griggs running a tight ship.
Yes, as he should. He understands that both of these teams are a little bit desperate tonight.
That's what you want in a match early in the season. Don't want to drop too many points. Put yourself behind the 8 ball. Brooklyn in its first year of the men's franchise. Essengay. Youngabide finds Santos, but he can't keep his touches inside the touch line.
Well, that's very much unlike Santos, but as soon as Loudoun get into the attacking third, they really wanted to peg Brooklyn back there, and I think Santos let them off the hook.
So Alves, 2020 NCAA College Cup champion with Marshall, launches the ball into play, looking for Marcus Anderson. Leads his team in goals coming into today. Could not find him. Now Eamon dumping it out wide.
Good ball.
Now the ball drawn back. Shouts for a handball from Loudoun. Half-hearted in the end.
Well, you wouldn't tell this from the handball that was scored between Bayern Munich and PSG the other day, but FIFA is trying to allow those inadvertent handballs to pass by when defenders have no chance and the ball just clips their hand on the way through. If the hand is in a natural position, they are begging referees to let that go.
Santos tries to flip it over the top. Alves again. Those two have been battling inside of the first 20 minutes. And Alves wins the battle again. Brooklyn FC fans, this is your chance to get even closer to the action and experience Brooklyn FC from a whole new perspective. Scan the QR code on the screen to enter for a chance to win 4 seats in Brooklyn FC's new pitchside seating area. These seats put you just steps from the action, where every pass, tackle, and goal happens right in front of you. You'd be able to see this corner if you were in those pitch side seats. Obregon Jr. preparing to take it for Brooklyn. 19th minute of action, no score between Brooklyn and Loudoun United.
Excellent set piece take up. He's going to start looking for Vinka Ezil, Latunovic, the big center backs coming up right on top of the 6-yard box.
Juan Carlos Obregon.
Good delivery.
Beaudry punches it down. A delectable delivery that required a save, honestly, from Beaudry.
Well, he whipped it right in, and Beaudry had to be at his very best as it was curling, and Beaudry actually ended up in his own goal. That's how close it came.
This time, it is off of Brooklyn. And Loudoun lives to play another day.
What a plus to have a player like Akinyode back there. He was the former captain of Miami a year or two ago. He could marshal those troops, especially on set pieces.
Akinyode in his first full season with Loudoun, joined late last year, 9th all-time in USL Championship appearances. Today is his 285th USL Championship appearance.
Still wet behind the ears.
More than 22,000 minutes played.
And what about Pedro Santos? Over 400 games played professionally. These guys are amazing.
Obregon pumps it into the area. Conte trying to head it down.
Well, Ulfason was the target man, the guy to release the pressure when they're all the way backed up. But you can see that first touch, a little errant, because he's now coming back from an injury. Doesn't have his touch just yet.
Frogson. Anderson looks like he's brought down. And it's on the edge of the area. And I mean tiptoes away from a penalty. Assengay counting his blessings.
Well, anytime the ball bounces, it's always going to be a nightmare for centre-backs, and that's the recovery. A lot of hands, a lot of pulling. And Assengay got caught with the hand in the cookie jar. Tell you what though, you want a left footer on this angle to bend the ball towards Beaudry with pace, and have anyone get a touch is going to get past the goalkeeper. I know Obregon loves these dead ball scenarios, but he has to allow the left footer to take this one.
Right now it looks like he's going to take it himself.
He won the argument.
Well, Obregon, a little bit older, trying to use that experience. And hits the post! Wow! What a hit! And Beaudry just happy that the post was his friend on the road.
Everyone looking for the cross, and he goes for goal. Just clips the bar on the way through. Beaudry's scrambling, just trying to find that first post.
And he was barely moving. If that would have just inched inside, that would have been a goal. And that's why he won the argument. He put it on frame.
Yeah, he's like, I have a golden boot under my belt in League One. I'll take this one, thank you very much.
Juan Carlos Obregon, 17 goals in 2025. Also played prior in the championship with Hartford, 15 goals in 2 seasons. So he knows what it takes to put the ball in the back of the net. 23rd minute of action, still no score, but Brooklyn at home starting to find their footing. Haven't seen Loudoun on the ball very much recently, and that's something that Coach LeBlanc of Brooklyn would love to see.
Let's talk about positioning. Loudoun is spending the last 5 minutes back in their own defensive third or in the middle part of the third. Brooklyn are pushing up and now starting to find their rhythm.
And now Amon trying to change that. Richie Amon with plenty of pace. Watched by 2 now, but Amon still with it at the end line. Loudoun will keep possession. Akinyode. Santos. And now Murphy goes back to Adnan. Brooklyn will earn possession. Big shove from Bolu Akinyode. And Taimu Okiyoshi, he's not taking too kindly to that as he lobbies with the referee, J.C. Griggs.
Well, he should be equipped with lights and a horn, like a truck coming right through the middle.
Latinovic Okiyoshi. Back to Burns. And Brooklyn has had some possession in this match. They have started to make things difficult on Loudoun, but a lot of this match has been, as we just saw, kind of back and forth. Neither team really being able to carry some possession. I
have to say it, I think Loudoun are struggling with the dimensions of the field. We talk about the lack of width. They love playing with Iman and Nyongaberry, but tonight, all they could go is vertical, not horizontal.
And there's a foul. That's going to give Loudoun an opportunity for a free kick.
The man from French Guyana, and he is so experienced. He's not going to allow Ulfason and company to get past him tonight. Vinca Izil, huge respect for him.
There's Pedro Santos, 68 career goals. Santos puts this in with pace, flicked on and in! Mama, there goes that man! Big time goal! Olferson is back with a vengeance. 1-0.
We talked about him being a target. When the ball goes out wide, that's who they're aiming for. But he had so much to do, though. It wasn't like a tap in or a nod in from 6 yards out. He literally had to convert or flick the ball into the last post. He's always going to be the main target. And look at him here, just flick it onto the last post. So much to do. And he makes something hard look easy.
For Olferson back in the lineup, and he has scored for Loudoun. Brooklyn 0, Loudoun 1. And Thor Olferson, who missed the last match, Coach Limbrick said, I think he's going to be back in the lineup. And Loudoun is happy to have him.
And they were soaking up so much pressure. That's the plus of having a forward like that you can win a free kick, put it in the air for him, and have him go get it.
Now Olferson trying to win possession with Alves. That's how things go at times, right? Whether it's having a lot of possession but not finding the goal, or not having any possession and finding the breakthrough. Sometimes it's just the way that the ball bounces, and that's football. But Coach LeBlanc said it. We are sometimes susceptible to set pieces. They saw it versus Miami. Twice Miami scored on set pieces that put them in front, and it rears its ugly head again for Brooklyn.
Well, the good news for Brooklyn is that Loudoun has conceded 13 goals in 7 matches. So there's a chance that they can allow Brooklyn to come back in. Here's the problem, though. Loudoun has that feel-good feeling now that they've been looking for a long time. I don't think they're going to let it go.
Loudoun looking for their first win of the season. And Coach Limbrick looking for his first win as a head coach in USL Championship. They have not led very much this year. The longest match in which they led was last time out versus Oakland for 35 minutes. But outside of that, minimal time versus Louisville. Now a turnover, and it was cleared away. Well done by Salvatore Mazzaferro, who's back in after being injured himself.
Well, some apologies at the back line. That was, looks like Awua. Actually, it was a Senge who just tried to chest trap the ball in traffic and almost played Brooklyn in.
Santos trying to play Olferson in. Already has a goal for Olferson. Draws it back. Shot is wide. And that was Murphy arriving, but couldn't put it on frame.
I love the decision, though. All the traffic was running towards the goal. He pulls it back by the traffic light, And there was Murphy trying to show up late. The technique was off, but the pass was the right pass.
We talked about Brooklyn settling in at home. Well, Loudoun is taking advantage of the possession that they are now finding and the aggression that they're now putting out. And another set piece on the horizon for Loudoun United as Malik Pinto commits the foul.
Yeah, Pinto has to be more disciplined than that. The player was moving away from goal. He's 30 yards out. He's no danger. Did not need to stick his foot right between the player's legs.
So Santos, who just earned his 61st career assist on the goal by Thor Olferson, now has another chance to find a teammate in the area.
I wonder who he's going to aim for.
Olferson was the target, but it was cleared away this time.
Why not?
Ball recycles around to Santos. Essengay, a back heel.
Beautiful by Essengay.
Nice idea, looking for Nyangabire. Who's going to dig this out? Akinyode will win it. The bigger body. And
this is the first sequence Loudoun has gotten back on the ball since they've scored, and they've been very careless with it.
Santos has it. Anderson earns possession, but he can't keep it. And now as bodies start to hit the pitch, everyone with their arms out, wondering when the foul is going to come, if the foul is going to come. It's an aggressive match, continuous match.
Tell you what, the pass by Murphy though. Murphy had, as soon as he picked up the ball, he knew exactly where the outlet was. Almost picked off Nyangabire. Looks like he lost his footing. But that just shows you how good Murphy is. He knows where the outlet is before the ball gets to him.
So now, players ending up on the pitch at a very quick rate. So both coaches starting to yell and scream, wanting something to calm down now. 32nd minute, Loudoun leads thanks to Thor Olferson. Okiyoshi of Brooklyn around Akinyode. There's a foul from behind.
You said it. That was a foul from behind, and the referee has every right to book Akinyode, but he's keeping the card in the pocket. Again, it's up to the referee how far he's going to go, but that's a yellow card infringement in this sport. Akinyode gets past Akinyode, and look at this cynical foul right there. That is a yellow card.
Akinyode going to feel like he got a piece of the ball, but there was a piece of the man, and that's why.
You tackle from behind. You're very much in the referee's crosshairs in getting a yellow card.
So Obregon, who hit the post, it's still ringing from his last shot. Obviously not going to go for goal here. But this is an opportunity for Brooklyn. Down by a goal. Maybe I spoke too soon. Watch the USL Championship in Spanish on Tudian, the nation's leading Spanish language sports network. Go to USLChampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. Santos can't keep this in on the touchline. Throwing for Brooklyn. Essengay and Anderson have been fighting. Essengay, the center back, Anderson.
Oh, lovely.
There. Now, combining play. Nyangabire shoved off by Vinay Kazil, and then Nyangabire commits the foul.
Well, I told you he was a number 10 that plays in those tight situations, but he hasn't played there in a long time. He's now playing wide right or right wing back for most teams. This is the time he got into that very tight space, and his touch let him down. It allowed the defense to get back in play. Nyangabire really had a good chance there.
It's been physical between Marcel Essengay and Marcus Anderson. That's something to watch as the match goes on, as Anderson tries to be in hold up. Vinay Kazil, his foul. And Tomas Van Kazil, 14 caps for French Guyana, former member of the Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
Yep, and he's a Swiss Army knife. He can step into defensive midfield and play a holding midfielder referee as well. He's a coach's dream.
Lucas Burns, goalkeeper, preparing to kick this away. Brooklyn finds itself behind again. They have a result in 3 of their last 4 in all comps, 2 wins. One, as mentioned, versus the New York Cosmos. The other one, a thrashing of Charlotte. They also have the 1-1 draw at home versus Sacramento. Marcus Anderson on the turf again. And looking at the referee, Pacific Nyangavide cannot scurry around Malik Pinto. Throw in coming for Loudoun.
Well, the expected goals for each of these teams are pretty low. 0.4 for Loudoun, 0.06 for Brooklyn. Brooklyn have not had a shot on goal yet to test boundary. Possession 55 for Loudoun, 45 for Brooklyn. That's something the home team would not want.
Olferson draws this back. Awua was the target, and he tried to send it forward. Conte does well to earn possession for Brooklyn. What can Brooklyn FC do with that possession? Conte battling, but the whistle will halt that battle. So Abdoulaye Conte played in France, Portugal, and also in Finland. No league goals coming into today, but does have 1 goal on the season. With his body, with his pace, definitely going to be a target as this match wears on.
I'm just making an observation here. I'm just bewildered of how Brooklyn have not got Anderson involved in the game and how good Loudoun have been in keeping Anderson in check. A lot of football to play. I'm just saying after 35 minutes.
And it's been Asel Essengay who's watched him, the center back for Loudoun. It's been those two battling on the long balls. It's been Essengay who has won the battle on most occasions. Essengay with good strength, on loan from Ventura County and MLS Next Pro. There's the one-touch passing Coach Limbrick is looking for. Santos turns it over. Pinto. Now Obregon doesn't win that duel in the air. Essengay showcasing his skill.
Beautiful.
And Kayazil can't win it, and last off of Santos. There's Anderson. This time doing well to use his lower center of gravity to kind of dig out that possession. Now as the ball pinballs around, neither side can come down with it just yet. Santos cagey to help Loudoun win possession.
Well, as of now, Brooklyn have no rhythm on the ball. They're being pinned back by Loudoun for the last 5 to 10 minutes after conceding as well. And Loudoun have to feel very good about things after 37 minutes.
Bad giveaway, and this could open up for Brooklyn, but Obregon loses his footing. Now Santos. Olferson doesn't have the step that he was hoping. That looked just like goals from earlier in the year for Olferson. Always trying to find the striker.
You love the speed of play. Look at this grit.
Akinyode goes to ground, wins the ball. Olferson again. We talked about him, this being his first game back. Just some of those movements, some of those steps, not as fluid as they have been earlier in the year. Coming the other way is Brooklyn. Conte. Anderson on that favored right. Took a deflection all the way through, stopped the bite from the ball, and Boji was able to go to ground.
Well, good counter by Brooklyn, and Anderson finally getting some daylight. You see that technique again. Excellent, desperate tackle by Essengay.
So Essengay has been great today, closing down the talisman for Brooklyn. Oni off this Alves header. Has numbers in the area. Can't play on the cross as he's closed down by Noah Adnan, but a corner for Brooklyn. Moving towards the 40th minute.
Last time we had a corner here, it was Obregon who put it right on that goal line. Baudry had to save it off the goal line. He ended up in the goal. FC Obregon can replicate that cross.
Obregon again sees this one punched away by Baudry. Tracked that one much better, saw it the entire way. Second phase of the attack also dealt with, and a throw-in coming for Brooklyn.
Like you said, Baudry was alive to it. I thought Obregon, yeah, we understand you can bend the ball that close, but give your centre-backs a chance to get your head onto it. A little too close to Baudry.
It looks as if Brooklyn might try a long throw. So Alves wiping off that beautiful select ball. Gets as much space as possible and pumps the ball into the area. Ball headed right back to him. So he puts it right back where it came from. Essengay is there. Oni defended by Santos. Cross comes in. Cleared away. Great box defending right now by Loudoun. Nothing has been clean. Pinto, lofted ball, and Loudoun does extremely well. Doesn't give Brooklyn a true chance.
Well, Coach Limbrick talked about how their defense has been stepping up the last few games. You get a good glimpse there, staying compact, picking up their markers, being disciplined. And that's how you build a house, from the base up. And this Loudoun team is starting to build that house. Now, if they can convert the chances like Ulfason just did early on in this half, then you start building the roof. And once that roof goes on the house, there's no stopping Loudoun.
Coach Limbrick said he really believes that this team is right on the precipice. They've shown it in spurts this season. They're still looking for their first win. Pinto loses possession. Nyangabire pulls back towards Ulfason. Now Owua. And that ball is taken care of by Callum Frogson. Played last year at University of North Carolina. Throw-in comes quickly back in. And now a free kick coming for Brooklyn.
Just more physicality. 4 minutes to go. Footballers playing 45-minute increments. They understand their bodies telling them we're coming down towards the end of the half, starting to get some tired legs. Go into the halftime, regroup, come back out. This is the time where goals score because concentration goes.
Alves.
Oh, beautifully done.
A header to himself. How often are you going to see that? Strong slide tackle, however, from Nyangabire. Santos. Murphy. And that ball is headed out by Noah Adnan.
Ulfason is giving him the stare of death from the last post. He was at the back post asking for it. And for some reason, Santos went back to Murphy. Tell you what, the big guy wants it. Give it to him. Still talking.
Heyman can't squiggle through. This ball will come out. Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the grassroots to the pros, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Nearing halftime between Brooklyn and Loudoun. And this early ball right into Adam Baudry. You mentioned no shots on goal. Just the one shot, excuse me, for Brooklyn up to this point.
We had Anderson on top of the box, but still, it's been very symbolic of how good Loudoun have been to keep Brooklyn at bay.
It's been a very quiet day from Beaudry.
I mean, their most dangerous moments has been Obregon on set pieces, hitting the post from the corner kicks. But in open play, it's been very much subdued by the team in white.
45th minute now. Loudoun looking for their first win of the year. No wins, 5 draws, and 2 losses. Wolferson just a header back out, so the throw-in coming for Brooklyn.
Is that Coney Island behind? That is awesome. That is just beautiful.
The home of Brooklyn FC. Conte on this. Conte has his cross cut out.
Again, another example. Coach Limbrick talking about being disciplined, being compact. There he is, trying to get back their positioning for this last play, keeping their focus.
Fourth official announcing just a minute of added time. So time running out in this first half for Brooklyn as they look for an equalizer. Alves right at Beaudry. Wolferson does really well to find Eamon. Minimal time left in the half now. Eamon has shook loose. Good defending there by Marcus Anderson all the way back.
Excellent defending.
And there is the halftime whistle. So Brooklyn down at home to Loudoun, looking for their first win of the campaign.
After a very first physical 15-20 minutes, it's Loudoun the ones who settle down more and look more crafty in the last third of the field. We talk about Obregon's set-piece ability. That's when Brooklyn looked the most dangerous. But Loudoun and this man, Ulfason, capitalizing on their set-piece. But in open play in the last third, Loudoun started to look better in the last 20 minutes than Brooklyn.
Well, welcome back to the lineup, Thor Ulfason. He scores the lone goal of the half. It was a rainy day to start. Both sides looking for a win and 3 points today. And as it stands, Thor Ulferson's first half goal is the difference. We'll take a break and be back for halftime here from Brooklyn.
Hearts. No two beat the same. So we built a team of the best heart surgeons, pioneers of the most modern techniques, who always find the one approach that's best for you. But while each surgery is unique, the outcome is the same: the highest success rates. NYU Langone Health.
Welcome back to Brooklyn, New York. Right now, Brooklyn FC finds itself behind Loudoun United FC 1-0. Now it's time to take a look at the USL Experience, Athletic Cup Boise, and showcasing their supporter group.
I think Idahoans have been clamoring for something that is theirs.
Feel a big sense of responsibility to do this right. You only get one first season.
For me, without soccer, it's like there's no air. Having it here, I feel like I can breathe again. Boise's never had anything like this.
With the field for World Cup 2026 now set, the USL can enjoy its place in the countdown to history. Never before has an active USL player taken part in a World Cup, until now. For the past 2.5 years, more than 30 players from USL Championship and League One battled through World Cup qualifying. This summer, 6 of them have a chance to hit the field for their respective country. Miami FC teammates Eloy Rom and Jurgen Lacadia made history, helping Curacao qualify for the World Cup for the first time ever. Curacao will face Germany, Ivory Coast, and Ecuador in group play. And for the first time since 1974, Haiti will take part in the World Cup, following a very unique road through qualifying. 4 championship players, Duke Lacroix and Garvin Matusala of Colorado Springs, Delence Pierre from FC Tulsa, and Carl Sente from New Mexico United led Haiti through qualifying without playing a home match. Now the Haitian team faces a tough group at the World Cup with matches against Brazil, Morocco, and Scotland. But while World Cup qualifying owned the spotlight in late March, several USL players took part on U.S. youth national teams, also on the world stage. Colton Swan of Charleston Battery scored a goal for the U.S. Under-20 team against Argentina in Argentina. Orange County SC's Tyson Espy played for the Under-17 team in Paraguay. And the U.S. Under-18 team played in Portugal, featuring Ramiz Hamuda from Birmingham Legion, Brandon Days of Louisville City, and Jameer Johnson from Orange County SC.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
It is halftime in the USL Championship. We hope you're enjoying your match so far. I'm Dan Lucas inside the USL studio with a look at some of the headlines from the championship. Last week we learned a lesson. Never leave a match early if the outcome is in doubt. 3 matches were decided in added time, beginning with Colorado Springs, grabbing a 3-3 draw with San Antonio in the 100th minute. Peter Wilson headed home the game-tying goal for Oakland Roots in a 2-2 draw with Loudoun United. And Michel Benitez cleaned up a saved penalty kick in added time to lead Sacramento Republic to a 3-2 win over Orange County. Louisville City's run to the round of 16 in the U.S. Open Cup earned the club $50,000 in prize money for being the furthest advancing team from the USL Championship. Lou City won a regulation wins tiebreaker with Colorado Springs to get the prize. It's still early in the season, but a trend that's helping the top clubs winning at home. Entering Week 10, 7 clubs above the playoff line in their respective conferences are unbeaten at home, so far led by San Antonio in the West, Tampa Bay in the East. Upcoming national broadcasts, AC Boise and FC Naples next Wednesday on League One. Then it's Richmond Kickers and Charleston Battery in the USL Cup. Rhode Island hosts Brooklyn. All 3 matches are on the CBS Sports Network. Now the second half is getting closer. Let's get you back out to your match.
Welcome back here. Halftime between Brooklyn and Loudoun United. Preparing for the second half between Brooklyn FC and Loudoun United FC. Loudoun in front by a goal. And they are halfway to their first win of the season. as they have come in their last 4 unbeaten, all draws. And now here are your halftime highlights as Juan Carlos Obregon had the post ringing early.
Set piece specialist. He looked to the left for the cross and went to the right for the near post, almost catching boundary. But what about this set piece by Loudoun? Ulfason back in the lineup and making the most of it. Absolute beauty into the last post. Tell you what, that takes the monkey off the back for Loudoun and gives them that feel-good feeling we spoke about in the first half. We could be off and running in the second.
Looking the ball on was Ulfason. Now 5 goals on the season for him, the former 4th overall pick in the 2022 draft out of Duke. A little bit later on for Brooklyn, Marcus Anderson had this shot skip off Asa Essengay, and that's one of the only shots on goal today for Brooklyn.
Essengay has the assignment. Where is Anderson? Where's Waldo? Where is Anderson? He finds him, stops his shot, and the possession looks like this. I tell you what, 55% for Loudoun away from home in Brooklyn's backyard, and also there's 10 touches in the opposition's box for Loudoun, only 4 for Brooklyn. Gives you an idea what they're doing with that possession. Of course, shots on target are pretty even, and the shots all together. But the opposing touches, the boxes in the opposing team's box, that is very significant in what Loudoun is doing with their possession.
And we talked about, although Loudoun has had more of the possession, now some of that possession has been choppy. The XG is not where either side would want it. Although for Marlon LeBlanc and Anthony Limerick, they said that their XG has been much higher as of late. And so now the expectation is, can they create clear-cut chances, more shots on goal, but in a clear-cut, obvious way? And how do you expect that to happen, one, for Brooklyn as well as for Loudoun?
I think for Brooklyn, it's going to come with defensive pressure. In other words, pressing. Pressing is a form of offense without the ball. I think it's going to take a lot of that in this ground where the dimensions are short. There's nowhere for Loudoun to hide or go around the sides. I think Brooklyn has to use their defensive pressure to create a goal. Now for Loudoun, Ulfason is feeling really good about things right now. Anytime that ball gets down the sides, I think you have to put it up in the air for him. Even if he doesn't score, he could nod it down for Santos to get one. He needs to be the feature, at least for the next 10, 15 minutes, and maybe they might take him off since he just came back from injury.
Loudoun in the white, Brooklyn in the black. J.C. Griggs blows his whistle, and we begin half number 2. Loudoun halfway to their first win of the campaign, and Brooklyn looking for their 4th result in their last 5 matches in all competitions. James Hadnot here with you, Ryan Davis with me, and as of right now, James Murphy on the ball finds Akinyode. Now Amon, the former NCAA champion with the University of Washington, along to Awua. Here's the one-touch passing that Limbrick was loving versus Louisville. Ball almost drops kindly to Ulfason. Now Olney is brought down, and that'll be a quick yellow card.
Well, trying to stop the counter-attack. Adnan taking one for the team. It seems to be a positive, let's say, body language by Brooklyn coming out of the halftime.
So CJ Olney was about to start the attack, and Noah Adnan, understanding that, brought him down rather quickly. Adnan spent last year with FC Cincinnati, made 3 first-year appearances, former 4-year captain at Stanford. And the first time we've seen a foul go on Essengay in that battle with Marcus Anderson. Anderson has been fighting hard today. You talked about him not getting a lot of service, but that's still, it's not because of not having a high work rate.
No, life as a forward is very, very hard. You make all these runs. The ball may come to you, may not come to you, but you have to keep making those runs. And then, of course, you have 2 center-backs on your shoulders, chomping at your ankles. So it's not an easy position. A lot of glory, but a lot of pain.
And for Anderson, he came in as a leading goal scorer for this team. Had a goal versus Miami FC last match, and the coaching staff knows him from their time at Philadelphia. Marlon LeBlanc was a very highly touted coach, getting them to the MLS Next Pro Final, falling to North Texas, also getting them to the Eastern Conference Finals, and trying to bring that same type of success, that same type of energy here to Brooklyn in their first year as a franchise. Another former Philly player, CJ Olney, on the ball now. This could be promising for Brooklyn. only shot hits the back of Akinyode.
And you ask just now, how are they going to get the goal? They pressured the ball in the middle of the park. They get the turnover. Now it's a quick counter, we call that. I thought Murphy's touch on the ball for Loudoun was very irresponsible from the captain.
Okiyoshi, floating ball, but Beaudry saw it the entire way, and that's not going to fool the U.S. Youth International.
Chance for Beaudry just to pick out Ulfason on this long ball.
Santos was the target. Adam Beaudry, who's played at the U17, U18, U19 levels for the U.S. men's youth national team.
I mean, I just have to say this.
And now Anderson runs into Beaudry, as it's like Essengay also was a part of that collision and coming together.
The play before, the ball is clipped in, Beaudry picks off the pass. A chance to slow things down for Loudoun. He tries to pick out Santos in between two centre-backs. Santos is 5'7", and the centre-backs are over 6 feet. Sometimes you have to ask those questions if you're on the sideline, if you're a coach. Beaudry, what are we doing? You have Ulfason over here, my 6'3" target man. How about we use him?
Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek, your ticket to all great seats. This is Eamon. Akinyode along to nobody in particular, and now Marcus Anderson in some space. CJ only on it. Can't connect with Conte. And there's contact with Santos, and a free kick coming for Loudoun.
Santos did a good job sneaking in, but I think he got very, very fortunate to win that free kick. And just to take the air out of the ball a little bit so Loudoun could get back their shape. And hopefully this time Beaudry goes towards Ulfason.
For Adam Beaudry, he's been playing in goal at the top level since a young age. The youngest player, or the youngest goalkeeper ever to start for Colorado Rapids in MLS. And there is what you ordered, Ryan.
Don't overthink it. Use the big man every time.
Looking for Ulfason. Okiyoshi goes back to his goalkeeper, Lucas Burns. Santos making it difficult on Alves.
37 years young, and that is kind of life and bite he has in his tackling. That's how he gets 400+ professional appearances.
Spent time in Portugal, as well as Romania, and in the U.S. with Columbus, and 2 seasons with DC United. Won a championship, knows what it takes to win at the highest level. Does Pedro Santos. Anderson finally getting a piece of the ball.
Oh, it's a foul.
Obregon with the shove from behind. And now the question is, can Brooklyn get some rhythm in this match?
I think they're doing the right thing, though. They're being very aggressive without the ball, especially right here in the middle of the park. And they're going to get that turnover, and Anderson is going to be available. Now, Loudoun, you are drifting to second to last place in USL Championship. Can you show the pedigree? Can you show that you can withstand that pressure, make the smart play, the safe play, the side-to-side play, rather than giving the ball away in the middle of the park and nurse this 1-0 lead?
Long shot right at Burns.
That's the question tonight.
Only Philadelphia Union homegrown into Okiyoshi. For Philadelphia, for Brooklyn. And talking with Coach LeBlanc about starting this franchise, said it's a new challenge for him. He's been a coach at the collegiate level, as well as been a coach with the U.S. Youth National Team, going back to last year, and felt like this was the perfect time and the perfect opportunity to really challenge himself. He said he's turning 50 this year, and he's excited about all the new challenges that he's going to have with this team. He wants to take the good with the bad. Now Eamon. Awua.
I love that he did that. I mean, take a team, build it from the ground up. You take all the responsibility, buy the players you want for your system. Not only looks good on the resume, but what a feeling that is to take this team to something, to top 5, to top 6.
Nyongabide, great initial touch, but lost his footing as he was working forward. That's last off of Loudoun. Throw-in coming for Brooklyn. And we talked a little bit about the connection for Coach LeBlanc and some of these players. He said that's also helping him in this endeavor. Marcus Anderson thinking that a foul should have come, not happy with the contact being made by Essengay, but now the frustration, he's a young player, has to learn, has to keep playing.
Correct. In this sport or any professional sport, it's not always going to go your way, but that grit is going to get you from one level to the next. And that's always going to be on show in front of your coaches and your teammates.
Contact from Obregon. And again, this also helps Loudoun because they already have the goal that they need. And so if this match is choppy, if there is no rhythm, they can continue to wind down time. Still a lot of time left in this match, but you have to feel like this type of pace benefits them.
And those type of passes, they understand how Brooklyn want to be aggressive defensively, and they're going to take those non-risky passes like that just to make sure to nurse this 1-0 lead. Very, very important to withstand this from Brooklyn. And eventually, Brooklyn cannot keep up this pace. So after about 10-15 minutes of playing safe, Brooklyn is going to get a little tired. Then you can start putting the ball through in more risky areas.
Yeah, Frogson took a hit there. He's back up. Callum Frogson played collegiately at FAU as well as with the Tar Heels in North Carolina. Conte on the touch line. Some different ideas for Brooklyn, just can't make the connection. Another deep ball looking for Ulferson.
Well, he's a little bit frustrated, and he's going to be frustrated for a little while as Brooklyn continue to press and be aggressive. Ulferson is going to have to find spaces in between the center backs on balls over the top like that, because they don't want to come through the middle right now, because it's very dangerous there with Brooklyn in this sort of mood.
Beaudry.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Calm with his distribution, but Awua heard the footsteps from behind from Frogson. Okiyoshi. Then Kayazil. Now time with Okiyoshi. Big diagonal. But the ball will bounce out of play. Can't watch the match? Turn on SiriusXM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights. Plus hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on SiriusXM FC 157 and the SiriusXM app. 57th minute. The ball finds Kwame Awua, former two-time champion with Forge FC in the Canadian Premier League. Now, Akinyode making his 285th appearance in USL Championship to date. Ball trickles out for a Brooklyn throw.
You know, talking about throws, in this World Cup that's coming up this summer, FIFA is really going to experiment. All this time right here, the referee is going to start a 5-second countdown. And if you can't get the ball back in, then it goes to the next team. Of course, he's going to allow you to get the ball, take your time, and then the countdown starts. But there's no wasting of time with the ball in your hand, which I think is terrific.
A lot of the time wasting has gone away, whether it's at the first tier level, as well as here with the adoption of the new rules, with the substitution rule, time substitution, as well as on-field treatment. And Ben Kayazil. A lot of contact here. And Nyangabide, very aggressive.
Well, Venka Ezil is asking the question. Nyangabide came right through behind him. That put himself and the goalkeeper in danger. Referee, of course, called for the free kick, but Venka Ezil wanted more, as the man from Burundi has no breaks. Goes right through both of them.
Obregon trying to control. Nice little touch through. Conte inside the area. Hit first time. Malik Pinto couldn't keep it on frame.
Well, it was always going to be a tough ball. It bounced and it skidded in front of Pinto. And all he had was enough time to get a shot off. Didn't have enough time to take a touch.
Nearing an hour gone in this match. Loudoun took the lead in the 26th minute. And now this is the longest time that they have had a lead in a match. It was a tough go of it versus Oakland. Thought that they had the win. But a goal given up in added time. It was a draw. Foul on the edge of the area. It was Callum Frogson going through Eamon. No more. Eamon expecting a card to come with that challenge, but a free kick coming.
Well, he's always a creator. He has high IQ. Gets in front of Venka Ezil. Now Venka Ezil has a lunge. Eamon wins the free kick again. No cards being distributed. Other referees may have given a card in that instance, but he wins a free kick now. Wolferson, of course, is there. Then you have Awuwa, Mazafaro. And Wolferson actually is asking Santos, can I get in on the free kick?
Discussion now with Akinyode, who's joined the conversation. Wolferson will stand behind this along with Santos. They slide it to Wolferson, but he doesn't hit it the way he had hoped.
Love it. I love the idea. Wolferson has to be more prepared to get around the ball. Remember, the ball is always going across your body. If you go straight at it, you're going to splice exactly like that.
Now Loudoun putting on a little bit of pressure. Pinto can't keep it for Brooklyn. Now a throw in for Loudoun. And just like you said, Ryan, Loudoun kind of impacted the tempo of the match. We are now 15 minutes into this second half, and now they're starting to press a little bit. Now they're starting to maybe open up a little bit to try to find that second goal.
Yeah, Brooklyn really came at them for the first 10 to 12 minutes after the second, in the middle of the second half, sorry, at the beginning, sorry. And now they weathered that storm. Now Loudoun is getting back their rhythm and starting to peg Brooklyn back.
Essengate launches this just on the edge of the area. It's headed down. Essengate on the touchline. Pumps it in now. Akinyode can't get a piece of it. And Frogson just waiting to put the ball back into play. So a substitution being made. Salvatore Mazzaferro will come off, and Andres Super, the New York native, comes on. Super, 27 years of age, from New York City. Spent the last 7 seasons in the Chilean top flight. This is his first year with Loudoun.
Tell you what, Universidad de Católica, along with Colo Colo, are the 2 best teams in Chile. If you play for one of those teams, that's royalty.
Murphy is stopped by Burns. Essengate,
beautiful,
calm with his touches, runs over Pinto, bodies everywhere, and in this scrum, Anderson is on the ball, along to his former teammate with Philly, CJ Olney. Now the cross is fired over. Anderson is battling.
Great job. Good job, Awuah.
And Conte tried to get a piece off of Awuah, but again, Anderson, who's still a teenager at 19, he's going to learn real quickly playing with some of these older players that there's a difference between young man strength and grown man strength.
Oh yeah, that seasoned veteran sort of been around the block a couple of times strength, like you said. That's a huge difference.
And it hasn't just been Essengay, it's been Awuah, it's been Akinyote who's come back to defend. So it's been a tough day at the office for Marcus Anderson. As you said, a thankless job as a forward with all the runs that he's made, all the effort that he's put in. But he's the type of player where it really just only takes one moment. As now Thomas McNamara comes on. So Malik Pinto will come off. McNamara will come on, the former MLS standout with New England Revolution. More than 215 appearances with the Revs. And there's the second substitution as Jaden Cervania will come on. Conte has come off. This ball pops free. Cervania's first touches behind only, but he'll continue with it. McNamara joining on the fun. Anderson was the target, but he's shoved off by USL Essengay. See how these fresh legs impact this match. 65th minute of action. Loudoun scoring in the 26th minute off a set piece. Thor Olferson with the header as he is back in the lineup.
Again, you can see Loudoun struggling without the width. They want to come down the sides, but there's just nowhere to go as Brooklyn's starting to close in. It's easy for them to close in because of the lack of width on the field.
So a shove from Awuah, and this is going to be a free kick, but not before a Loudoun change. So a substitution for Loudoun United as they try to finish things off, still looking for their first win. It is Kimi Ordonez who comes on. Thor Olferson will come off. So as it stands right now, Olferson has the winning goal. Still a lot can change. Poor service here, but Brooklyn will keep possession. McNamara fires this ball in. It's too far, and it will be a goal kick.
Have to believe that Brooklyn has to be a little bit more patient when they have the ball, especially when you have Loudoun locked into their own half. Just putting a ball over the top and hoping for the best is not the way through. Come down the sides. Give your tall people who came up for the set piece, give them a chance to get on the end of the cross.
So Adam Beaudry ready to send the ball away again. Beaudry, who played 5 matches in the U20 World Cup in 2025. Awuah. Santos dumps it forward to Eamon. Great move here for Loudoun. Eamon. Awuah. Sent away by Okiyoshi. Still with Loudoun. Cervania trying to win possession, but at least he forces Murphy back towards his own goal.
But he's such an orchestrator, Murphy. He knows exactly where the outlet is, and he has the technique to just bend the ball around the forward and get it back to his keeper.
So then Kayazil with the header out. And into Eamon. Ordonez can't keep possession. McNamara does. Now Olney is loose. CJ Olney goes into overdrive, but that touch takes him.
You love the adventure, you love the confidence, but it really didn't have much direction or purpose behind it. There was no final product, as we say. A pass, a shot.
Saw the green grass, knew that he could play into it.
And sometimes people corral you into that area. That area is shown to you, you drive into it, the defenders now corral you, sort of surround you, and there's nowhere to go.
Now Frogson has gone down. So we've already seen a couple of changes from Brooklyn. Pinto and Conte have come off. Frogson is still down.
I tell you what though, it is all about fresh legs for Brooklyn. They've shown, well, at least tonight, there isn't much guile and creativity in that last third, but there's a lot of effort and there's a lot of grit, and they can get a goal from that, from rushing Loudoun off the ball and then creating a chance with the space that's left over. But if you're not going to have the guile in the last third, the least you can do is come down the sides and get the ball across to give your forwards a chance.
I haven't seen much play in the wide areas, and that's something that Anthony Limbrick knew wasn't going to be the case. When he talked to us this week about this Brooklyn side, he said a lot of what we have to deal with is quick team transitions, second balls, and long balls. Because
of the lack of width on the field, I can understand why you have to go north-south rather than to the sides. And that's why they have very good players in the middle of the park. Akiyoshi, Obregon Jr. I mean, they're very skilled, excellent technical players in the middle of the park, but they have not been involved as much as they should. So when you have creative players like that who are just sort of defending more than being involved, they can lose interest or they can just become null and void.
Well, Frogson has to come off, so Ryan McLaughlin comes on, the former member of the Liverpool Academy, and he appeared for Liverpool in the FA Cup in 2015. Very long career with Oldham, Bristol Rovers, and Blackpool in England. And so some experience coming on the pitch, and maybe that guile and creativity that this team is needing comes on now for Brooklyn, this time in England. Obregon is still down, the captain, and he's looking around. We'll take a second. eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now.
If you download eFootball, you can literally play with Loudoun United or Brooklyn, all the USL Championship teams, all the uniforms are there. It is absolutely incredible, and the gameplay is better than EA Sports FC. There it is.
A full endorsement.
There it is.
Of eFootball. And right now, J.C. Griggs just trying to keep the peace on the sideline. Looks like Bolu Akinyode is having to get his hand retaped. And so, Awua comes in. McLaughlin gets a piece of this. And with the man advantage, Marcus Anderson is on the way.
Oh.
His ball into the path of Obregon was just a bit too far. Now Olney into the area. Ben Kayazil. Anderson. And his shot is closed down by Awua. Now Eamon galloping in possession. Whistle came a little late, but it came because it was necessary.
Yeah, and his son was out of position. Venkayazil, who came up, is now out of position. So Anderson tracked back and just took out Eamon to a professional foul, let's say. But I have to say, Anderson's first delivery into Obregon was picture perfect. Obregon has to slide, has to throw himself at that ball to try and get a piece of it. There was nothing wrong with the delivery.
So now McNamara Sends it more central. Alves. And Van Kajazeel. More energy now for Brooklyn with these substitutions that have come on. The match feels a little different right now. And with Loudoun only leading by 1, how many times have they given up leads? And they have not been able to finish the job to find that first win. Great ball in from Olney. Obregon loading up and lifting it over the crossbar.
And into Coney Island. I'll tell you what, you can never defend a 1-0 lead. You can nurse a 1-0 lead. Nursing means managing the game. Defending means just getting behind the ball and absorbing. You don't want to do that with a 1-0 lead. Now, I thought Loudoun has done an exceptional job in the last 25 minutes nursing it. What I'm seeing here in the last 2 or 3 minutes is they started just to get bodies behind the ball, and now Brooklyn are starting to put their footprint on the last 5 to 10 minutes.
That is how they fell behind versus Oakland, or not necessarily fell behind, but lost the lead versus Oakland. They were up 2-1 going into the 90th minute. And they run a play off a header from Peter Wilson. Oakland was able to find a point. Now Santos can't connect with Kimi Ordonez. And also, as you said, as numbers start to come behind the ball for Loudoun, it starts to give confidence to Brooklyn, who hasn't really had a lot of attacks on the day. But now Van Kajazeel from his center back position up for the attack. McLaughlin, McNamara, and not on the same page with the runners in the box. So SL Essengay will clear it away. We're in the 75th minute now, and Loudoun still in front. Ordonez throwing down Alves. That's going to be a foul.
Speed of play is very much on display now for Brooklyn. Loudoun, of course, are going to get white shirts behind the ball. How quickly can you change that point of attack to get behind that back line or get a shot off in top of the 18-yard box? All eyes on Brooklyn right now to see how quickly they can play in the last third.
And all eyes on Stefan Stojanovic, who just came on as well. As Sean Hundle. Beaudry sends it away. Nice tap. Eamon Santos. Nothing comes of it, though. Now Stojanovic. Van Kajazeel out of play. The USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN Plus. Go to USLChampionship.com or USLLeague1.com for the complete USL TV listings. Loudoun searching for their first win in USL Championship this year. It has been draw after draw, 4 straight coming into today in league play.
And they know it. They can hear the footsteps of Brooklyn right behind them, and they understand they just have a 1-goal lead to take care of here. You can start seeing some desperation from the white shirts.
Hundel. Now Essengay tries to clear it away, only as far as McNamara. As they try to switch the point of attack. Cervania is tripped from behind. And that foul means that a free kick is coming for Brooklyn. Andres Super not too pleased. Cervania quickly plays the ball in. Stojanovic's header back inside the 6. And now cleared away. Okiyoshi is on it. Only big switch into McLaughlin. Runners coming into the area. And it was Stojanovic Got to head to it, just not on frame.
The angle is so hard to get a good ball in for your forwards or midfielders alike. The ball has to be there needs to be one more pass down to the sides to then get a better angle. I think they're sort of rushing it, Brooklyn. You're not going to get it all back with one pass.
So Eamon comes off. Jack Panayotou comes on. The New England Revolution homegrown, on loan from New England. Spent last year with Hartford, had 5 goals and 3 assists in all competitions. Former teammate at New England with Thomas McNamara.
And with a name like Panayotou, has to have some sort of Greek blood in there.
Nyangabire out wide. Nice slice ball in. Nyangabire doesn't take the shot. But you see Panayotou immediately coming on and showcasing his quality.
Yeah, good ball in. And Nyangabire's touch is now favored to more of a right wing back and a right midfielder rather than a number 10 or number 9.
Ordonez on the ball now, and Kimi Ordonez sprays it wide.
You love the fact that Ordonez tried to hook it back, just sort of wrong foot the goalkeeper, but you always want to see the striker go across the keeper's body. That'll be good technique and good form, as they say.
McLaughlin back to Venkayazil. Brooklyn fans, here's your shot to upgrade your game day. Scan the QR code on the screen for a chance to win 4 seats in Brooklyn FC's exclusive new pitch side selection. Be right on top of the action. Experience the intensity of every play like never before. This is as close as it gets. Nice touch from Hundle. Venkayazil. Wow! That ball went through everyone. Beaudry was privy to it.
I tell you what, if that was any on either corner, I don't think Beaudry is going to get to this one. Venkayazil, look at the technique on this. On his weaker left foot, puts his laces right through it. It skips. I tell you what, boy, one more yard to Beaudry's right. That could be in the back of the net.
Adam Beaudry hasn't been called on often today, but he's been ready when the phone rings. And now you can feel it for Brooklyn. McNamara, nice little turn to find Olney. Ushers it along towards Cervania. Throw in coming for Brooklyn. Quick throw in. Hundle drops it off. Cervania shoved. Super can't clear it completely. And now Ordonez along for Santos.
Have to make use of this space now. They can't just give it right back to Brooklyn.
Sends it centrally. Ordonez. Oh, what a pass! Panayotou's shot was closed down by Okiyoshi. But you see the creativity from Archimedes Ordonez. Okiyoshi putting his body on the line to stop that shot.
Well, he has over 40 MLS caps, the Guatemalan international. And look at this little play through the legs. And a chance for Panayotou. That's the type of skill, the unrehearsed sort of move that you need in the last third.
So time ticks now. A goal for Loudoun would surely mean all 3 points in their first win of the season. Panayotou puts it in, headed away by Alvis. Still work to do for Brooklyn. Ordonez. And Kimi Ordonez just wide of the mark.
Well, he's a number 9 by trait, and if they see the 18-yard line anywhere around them, they're going to have a shot. And as a coach, you can't get angry with that. That's what you want from him. That's his trait. That's why you brought him into the squad.
And that deflection, maybe the only reason why that ball didn't find the back of the net. Stojanovic tries to get ahead to this, but it's Essenge who's on it.
I'm glad you said deflection, too. I thought that was a corner, by the way.
So now Olney's on it. Brooklyn down by a goal, but not out of it. 8 minutes plus added time remain. Brooklyn FC would result in 3 of their last 4 in all comps.
Tell you what, the mood has changed in Brooklyn. 55% now to the home side in just the second half alone. 0.21 expected goals compared to 0.09 for Loudoun. Loudoun definitely holding on here.
Latinovic. Then Kaisil along to McLaughlin. That's out for a corner. Brooklyn has some life late in this match.
But they don't seem to have that Ulfason, that Akinyori type player that can come and, capitalize on a dead ball like this.
Who's going to be the man with the plan for Brooklyn? It's Cervania to provide the service. And numbers inside the 6 for Brooklyn, just crowding Beaudry.
Maybe Alves.
The flick is missed out on. Okiyoshi finds Olney. Beaudry goes up for that.
Beaudry doing the right thing there, just managing the game. Goalkeepers have that responsibility. Either stop the counter-attack or slow it down and have your players get back their defensive posture.
Burns has to send this forward. He's out of the area. Panayotu had the right idea, but could not execute. At Bellevue University, your success is the only thing that matters. That's why they offer education that's designed to help you achieve your next goal. Find out degrees and find more about Bellevue at bellevue.edu/goals. 85th minute. Brooklyn down by a goal. Loudoun with the throw. Time on their side, score on their side as they look for their first win of the season. This ball will bounce to Lucas Burns. It was a set-piece goal. Beautiful delivery from Pedro Santos, and the finish similarly beautiful from Thor Olferson. 26 minutes of action. Loudoun has held on since that time.
Again, a chance for Loudoun to get back into their defensive structure, doing everything right. It's up to Brooklyn now to come up with something special.
Olney. Watched by Panayotu. Those two have been battling since their youth days in the youth academies in MLS. Ben Kaisil will keep possession. McLaughlin and Okiyoshi not on the same page.
Well, a chance for Loudoun now to slow things down. Tell you what, Aua is not going to be in any hurry, and the white shirts are not going to be committed up the park. They're going to put 1 or 2 up.
Ball's dumped forward, offside for Hundle, and with the head injury, potentially the man down, play has to come to a halt.
It was always a physical match from the very first whistle, and this man has had a lot of responsibility on his shoulders trying to manage it. And he keeps checking his hand, looking for blood.
Looks like it's Santos who's down.
It's one of 2 things. He's really injured and needs that medical treatment, or he's using a little bit of the dark arts and laying on the ground and trying to take up as much time as possible.
Santos, who's done this a long time, he knows what time of the game it is, but he does have the medical staff out. And he will have to come off in this again. We'll see how long it takes for him to be let back on the pitch.
Usually the requirement now is at least 1 minute after the ball gets back in play.
And so while that may benefit in time that was taken, he is let back on. But J.C. Griggs will definitely give that an injury time. Hundle, McNamara mishits it, but it finds Olney. A long towards Stojanovic. And now a clearance from Adnan. 89th minute now. Long ball launched forward. Beaudry is in the area. And McLaughlin, who was doing a bit of shoving of Kwame Awua. Free kick is given and more time will be taken.
Yep, goalkeepers, like I mentioned, have that responsibility to manage the clock now. And Beaudry's going to loft this song right down this near side.
And Kyasil back to his goalkeeper Burns. Fires this high into the air. McLaughlin there first. And with Beaudry on it, we will march into the 90th minute.
And to be fair, I mean, Brooklyn really have not shown any imagination in the last 5 minutes to create a chance. So Loudoun doing the right thing, just getting the ball as far away from their goal as possible. And it's up to Brooklyn to now create something.
Nice initial touch. Olney sees it roll out for a throw.
But we talked about the impossible position that Brooklyn in. No dressing room, no stadium that's actually theirs.
And now McLaughlin has it wide. Ben Kyasil off the 1-2.
That's the angle.
Puts the ball into the area. Headed back. Now Alves. Was always going to be a difficult effort from there.
Alves saw his name in the paper tomorrow. And the Brazilian, well, trying to do something Brazilian.
"90 minutes played." The fourth official announcing a minimum of 6 minutes of added time. So still maybe more of this story to be written.
And Brooklyn with the lion's share of possession and passes in the opposition box in the second half. Their face will light up to see that 6 minutes is an eternity.
Ball's kept in. McNamara along to McLaughlin. Now Van Kyasil. Just putting the ball in, trying to be dangerous. Super. Shove of Archimedes Ordonez. Super will race for it. Andres Super is on it. Watched by two. And can't keep possession.
So what Super was trying to do there, pull the ball back and just flick it forward. But now he's put his team in an awkward position, and now Brooklyn with a free kick is going to pile black shirts into that box.
Now, Super just picked up a yellow card. He has to be careful. Second minute of our minimum of 6. Free kick opportunity for Brooklyn, down by a goal. Olney puts the ball in over everyone and out.
Wasn't too bad. It was just about a yard or two in front of the black shirts, but I love the idea, the trajectory and the placement of that free kick.
Now, priceless time will fall off the clock now. Loudoun can taste that first win of the season. McLaughlin, another header, now controls. McLaughlin is fouled by Kimi Ordonez. And so Brooklyn will have possession. Time starting to run out for Brooklyn FC. And possession lost there.
And it's pretty consistent tonight. I mean, the passing in tight spaces in the attacking third, it just seems to be a little bit behind the pace of the game or behind the player. And Brooklyn really have not really put together a good sequence of passes to get behind the Loudoun defense and create what we call a big chance.
That's Coach Limbrick looking for his first win as the head coach of Loudoun.
Does he storm the field if it holds?
He's won cups and super cups. I think this will just be one of those big time moments for him.
Yeah.
He's enjoyed his time with this team, believes that they have plenty of quality. That quality was on display today. Santos finding Ulferson in the 26th minute. Will that goal hold up?
Yeah, you said it. Their record does not show their quality on the pitch.
This ball finds Cervania. Almost last gasp time for Brooklyn. McLaughlin draws this back. Cervania. No cross from him. Now McLaughlin drives to the end line. That was a shot. It did not take a deflection. Goal kick.
Well, he wants a corner kick. I don't think that Awuah got a piece of it. Well, he's not exactly the quickest person in the world. Awuah knew he was going to go to the line. He showed him the line, and he couldn't get the cross across the face of the goal.
So Beaudry taking his time like a seasoned vet. Sends the ball away. Out of play. Throw-in coming for Brooklyn. Inching towards just a minute remaining. The throw must come from farther back for Alves. Comes in to play. Back to Burns. Okiyoshi.
Look at Loudoun pushing white shirts forward to push Brooklyn back. And it pays off. They win the throw. They sort of change the pace. They push players forward and press rather than sit back. And it completely caught Brooklyn off guard.
Santos
corner flag.
Dumping it over the top. Ordonez was offside. Only moments remain now. Burns booms this forward. First ball won by Akinyode. McNamara around to Alves. Seconds remain now. Olney Jr. CJ Olney into the area, flicked along, drops for a corner. J.C. Griggs will give Brooklyn the opportunity to take this corner. Potentially last kick of the match. And some pushing and shoving, only going to make this a little bit more tense as Lucas Burns has come in, the goalkeeper for Brooklyn.
The desperation is incredible. Look at the body language.
Ball is sent in, headed away by Essengate. Olney headed it back. There's the clearance. There's the full-time whistle. Loudoun United victorious for the first time this season. The final, Brooklyn 0, Loudoun United 1.
Look what it means. Akinyode, one of the leaders of the clubhouse, is going to everyone and congratulating each other. And to do it on the road as well. And remember, with Rhode Island playing the Rowdies, they are 3 points behind Rhode Island. If Rhode Island loses, they get 3 points, which they just did. They can go up to Rhode Island and get into the top 10, depending on the result tonight.
It was a gritty match for Loudoun. They found a goal early in the 26th minute, and they held on for dear life, and they take all 3 points.
Highlights?
It's all smiles for Loudoun United FC as they win for the first time this season, taking down Brooklyn FC 1-0. James Hadnot here with Ryan Davis. Thank you so much for joining us as we wrap things up from Brooklyn, New York. And for Brooklyn and for Loudoun, this was contentious early on, and Juan Carlos Obregon almost got the scoring started.
Yes, set pieces was their main part or their main threats, and Obregon just the right man to deliver it.
And then the set piece for Loudoun United. Pedro Santos, a perfect ball. Thor Olferson back in the lineup and onto the score sheet.
Yeah, taking this ball from the first post and glancing it all the way back to the back post. Had so much to do with it. Good ball in from Santos, but Olferson, that was class.
Huge for Olferson as he came back, scored the lone goal of the day. Then a little bit later, as Loudoun was looking for an insurance goal, James Murphy puts it on frame, but a save from Lucas Burns.
Good technique from Murphy, but Burns alive to it, comes through the traffic. Excellent shot, excellent save, just good football all around.
And then a little bit later in the match when Brooklyn was starting to find a footing, it was more from Loudoun. Murphy dropping this off and just some excellent play. The shot wide, however, from Kimi Ordonez.
Ordonez tries to sneak it past into the near post, but you still want to see him go across the keeper's body to the far post.
And then moments later, what was one of the only chances on the day in the second half for Brooklyn, it was Thomas and Kayasiel, hands just through the traffic.
Despite all the possession, despite all of the forward progress with the ball, this is their best chance. Never created anything in the last third. Brooklyn really did not get anything in that last third of the field.
And here are your full-time statistics. The 1 goal for Loudoun, the difference from Thor Olferson. Both teams with 9 shots. Loudoun with 1 more shot on target. And for Brooklyn, they had the 54% possession, but as you said, Ryan, kind of struggled to create to come in this match. So we're going to wrap things up. Thank you so much for joining us with Ryan Davis. My name is James Hadnot from Brooklyn. It was a fun one. It was Brooklyn FC looking to continue some of their success at this point, but Loudoun just hungrier on the road. Thor Olferson with the lone goal of the day, the difference maker, and Thor dropped the hammer here in Brooklyn. The final, once again, Brooklyn FC 0, Loudoun United 1. With Ryan Davis, my name is James Hadnot saying so long from Brooklyn. Have a best evening.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.